buying a home in San Jose can feel like an uphill battle. High prices, fierce competition, and countless details to navigate. Most people end up losing their dream home simply because they're just not prepared. Today, I'll show you why this happens, how you can avoid these common mistakes, and what it takes to win in one of the most competitive real estate markets in the country. Hi, my name is Theresa, and for the past 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families find their perfect home in the San Jose market, following my exact step-by-step guide that I'm going to reveal to you right now. I know the process of buying a home in San Jose can be overwhelming, but with the right strategy and preparation, you can confidently compete and secure a home you want. So let's break it down step by step. So first off, why do most buyers lose in the San Jose market? The biggest one I see is they don't understand the market. The San Jose real estate market moves fast. Homes often sell within days. They usually sell above asking price and sometimes quite a bit, maybe 10 or 20% above. And many buyers just don't understand that the list price is really a starting point for bids, not the final price or not a price to negotiate. Also, buyers have inadequate preparation. They don't get pre-approved or they fail to fully understand their budget and often miss out when there's negotiation happening. There's also lack of research on neighborhoods and home values which leads to unrealistic expectations. And buyers have just not studied and reviewed the seller disclosures and inspections up front thoroughly so that they can be confident when making an offer and minimize that risk for sellers by coming in with short or no contingencies. San Jose has seller reports and inspections done up front, so it's a little bit different market requiring more preparation from the home buyer. That leads into another point of weak offers. Many buyers just don't understand how to craft competitive offers, such as removing or minimizing contingencies or making a really strong offer price right at the start to even be considered in the running for negotiations. There's also poor communication between their agent and the listing agent, which can hurt their chances. It's amazing how many stories I have as a listing agent looking at multiple offers coming in where a buyer's agent doesn't even touch base until they just send the offer off and hope that it does well. I mean, there's so much technique that can be done here with your agent to give your offer a much better chance by being professional and working together. And the last thing is that there's a lot of emotional mistakes that can happen by buyers. Basically, they fall in love with the home before they fully understand the market or what it takes to get into a property, which leads to disappointment. And I've seen several times where buyers then just get deflated or so disappointed they take time off and they miss a really great opportunity or they miss the preparation time that they should be working on. So also overcommitting financially can lead to being house poor in a high cost area, and that is just not what I wish for anybody. Buying a home should be a strong financial decision that you're going in with fully open eyes and a plan. So how do you get there? Understanding these pitfalls is just the first step. So let me show you what it takes to navigate the San Jose market successfully and come out on top. So here are some key strategies to avoid losing. First, get pre-approved early. Work with a lender experienced in the San Jose market to secure a pre-approval and underwritten letter for a realistic loan amount. Now, this means a budget that you are comfortable with. It's really important to know your financial monthly budget, your flexibility, and how that relates to a price point and the range that you can actually spend and still meet your budget. This removes the stress and anxiety up front and makes your offer decisions really quick when you're negotiating. Plus, it shows sellers that you're really serious and ready to move forward quickly. So it's really important to set that realistic budget up front and not account for just the purchase price, but other expenses that, are new, especially if you're coming from renting. For example, property taxes, hazard insurance, HOA fees if they're applicable, and ongoing maintenance and utility costs. All of that needs to be rolled into your budget when buying a home. Now, you can use a mortgage affordability calculator to ensure you're comfortable with your monthly payments and talk through those details with your lender. But again, a holistic approach to your budget is really critical. Next strategy is to research neighborhoods. Identify which neighborhoods align with your budget, your lifestyle, and your commute needs. You want guidance from an experienced agent on this for sure. You want to focus on key factors such as your top 3 musts, like school districts, number of bedrooms, or maybe commute time. What are those for you? Well, let's talk about it and let's figure out and really help you prioritize, because in the high cost market, it's really important to be focused on your absolute musts. So I'm getting into a lot of details here, but I do want to point you out to our tips to guide on our website. You see here we have the ultimate step-by-step guide, and we're going through this process and giving you some tips right now. But really that research and prepare step we're talking about is so important. Then setting up your agent and your lender team are also critical step for number 2. Then you narrow down your home search focus and go shopping. I see a lot of buyers do that in the completely wrong order, and that's where mistakes happen. All right, another key strategy to make sure you don't lose out on an offer is to craft a competitive offer. Now, you need to work with an experienced agent to research the comparable sales. The pending sales, especially in a fast-moving spring market, are really critical to understand. And then tailor your offer to be in line with the current market. Now, consider strategies like waiving contingencies, offering a flexible closing timeline, or assuming repair costs to make your offer easier on the seller. Now, in order for the seller to pick your offer, it's got to be the one with the least risk, the best price, or most overall money netted in their pocket. That's the one that's going to make the seller jump, right? I've actually seen sellers pick a lower priced offer when the terms were really favorable, or they maybe counter you on price if you have the best terms and give you the opportunity to come up to the price that's going to make sense for them. So really those terms are overlooked quite a bit, but they are critical to today's sellers in a seller's market like we have here in San Jose. So if we quickly look at some of the tools that I have here on the screen, got a lot of data that I will go into and show you. But as a quick note on my market update website, so quickly, if you go over to our local market and you can pick different neighborhoods, but if we just start with the San Jose General San Jose housing market, you will see we have a really quick market action index to help guide you as to what kind of market it is right now. You can see that we are in a strong seller's market that is a little bit stronger than it was the previous month. So this gives you an idea of relative change if the market's heating up or slowing down, but also a sense of where we are. So typically in San Jose, we're going to be in the 60 plus range as far as a seller's market. And so you need, as a buyer, to be very competitive and prepared. There's a lot of other stats and charts that you can find here, but if we click this full interactive charts, you're going to get to more details that we can break down. So another metric that I use to follow is going to be the list price to sales price, right? Because we talked about in the beginning intro of this video that sometimes homes sell 10 to 20% above the list price. Yeah, that's crazy. But here we are. This is looking at November closed sales. It was 5% on average in a slower November market, right? As spring hits, this number easily can go up. And I've got a lot of great charts where we talk about that in our market updates of what's happening with the prices and the average overbidding. But knowing this and what's going on in your immediate neighborhood is really important for crafting that good offer. And then another strategy, of course, is to stay objective. It's really important to focus on preparing and knowing your needs and your budget rather than getting emotionally attached to a home right away. Know what your budget can afford and where's the best value for you in that. Consider a home that may not be 100% in fashion or HGTV or perfect looking for you, because those are the homes that get even more activity and sell even more over. Maybe that's the right fit for you, but maybe you need a property that you can just move into that was maybe updated 20 years ago with really good quality materials that you can live in and slowly customize over time. So weighing those trade-offs, or maybe as a changing neighborhood focus to get what you want, is really important part of getting your goals and your objectives set clearly so that you can avoid losing out on the right property. So these strategies maybe sound a little simple, I don't know, but the difference between winning and losing often comes down to this preparation and having the right team on your side. So why is having the right agent critical? There's so many agents out there. Different agents offer different services or want exclusive representation with buyer's agreements, or just want to show you one property. So how do you differentiate and what do you know? Well, the first thing is a good, solid agent who's going to save you money and get you in on a house can provide expert guidance. A skilled agent will help you understand San Jose's unique market, from pricing trends to offer strategies. They'll also connect you with reliable lenders, inspectors, contractors, and the right agent will even guide you on disclosures, repairs, and budgeting. For example, when I sit down and work with my clients, I will often create a summary of the property and the notes, and we're going to discuss the disclosures and the costs, so we have a full budget analysis. We're going to go through the comparable sales and talk about what the price could be. We're going to highlight different parts of the inspection and what the repairs are needed, and maybe, highlight anything that might be of concern or something that we want to look into further. And then we're summarizing all those costs that are maybe immediate, as well as something that you might need to plan for in the next year or two in the near future. So having an agent who's really going to help you distill all of that seller disclosure information down into true nuggets that help you make a solid offer is so important, and honestly, a little bit rare to find an agent who's going to do that level of diligence for you. So that rolls into strong negotiation skills. A great agent knows how to present your offer in a way that appeals to sellers and listing agents, increasing your chances of acceptance. For example, I had 2 buyers just in the last couple of months that were competing for houses that had more than 10 offers. With my communication and expertise, I was able to get them the opportunity, even though the first time neither of those buyers was the highest offer. Our communication, our presentation, our package, and our terms were strong enough that it gave us the opportunity to negotiate with the seller and eventually lock in the house and get into contract. One of those buyers, it was the first time, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. The other one, it took a few times to build that trust and understand the market to get there. But having an agent with those soft, subtle negotiation skills and relationships with other agents and a connection with the lender to advocate for you is going to be critical difference between you getting into contract or missing out and writing offer after offer after offer. I mean, honestly, most of my clients write 1, 2, or 3 offers and they're in a house. None of this 5 or more. There's something that isn't going quite right if that's the case. And lastly, one of the key things is you want to avoid common mistakes. Many buyers lose out because their agents fail to properly prepare them or guide them through some of those key decisions. In my 20 years working in real estate, I've seen all types of agents who kill the deal or completely miss an opportunity to step up. On the other side, agents have had clients way overpay. I've had offers come in as a listing agent where the top offer was $100,000 or $200,000 more than the second place offer. That agent missed it on the completely other end of being over exuberant with their client and spending way too much money to lock up the house. Ugh, you don't want to do that. So having an agent who can prove their skills and work for you to get the house but not overpay is really important. So to give you an idea how this works, let me share 2 real stories of buyers in San Jose, one who struggled and one who succeeded. Buyer 1 took some time. I hinted to them a little bit earlier. They were a YouTube viewer of mine that reached out in February 2024. Their price range was 1.3, upper 1.3 range at the interest rates at the time. And they lost out on 2 offers because they didn't fully understand the intensity of the market and how much overbidding would push the price, as well as removing that loan contingency. I know it's really nerve-wracking to remove that loan contingency, but again, if we're doing the preparation and research with a lender that I recommend up front, you should be able to have the confidence to go ahead and remove that loan contingency with the proper homework only, right? So doing that homework up front is so important. So the buyer did that homework, but they just didn't feel in their heart they were really ready to remove that loan contingency. So the first offer they lost because of that loan contingency, because multiple offers came in and they were one of only, I think, 2 out of 10 that had a loan contingency. So seller didn't want to deal with that risk. They moved on, right? Their second offer was just not as high of a price as I recommended. I gave them a range and said, if you want this house, you got to push it to the top of the range. They thought, well, we're going to start a little bit lower and see if we can negotiate. Well, unfortunately, sometimes the seller just picks the highest offer, or like I talked about before, you got to have that strong offer to be able to negotiate. So their offer just didn't come in high enough in order to lock it in, and therefore they didn't follow advice and they lost out on the second house. Now, finally, after taking a break because I got so disappointed and thought they were going to be not able to afford a home in San Jose, we reconnected and interest rates had gone down, their budget had gone up, there was a perfect house that came up, and this time they were all in. They were ready to go. Third time was a charm. They followed my guidance. We did everything right and got the opportunity to negotiate and get the property and lock it in. And they couldn't be happier. So that buyer is sort of a common story. They took some time. It took 3 offers, but they were able to do it and listened and followed guidance, and we got it done. Now, buyer number 2, I would call them the winner. So this person was a tech professional looking for a property in the high $2 million range with top schools. So it's not an easy thing to find if you're looking in that budget, It seems crazy at that price point, I know, but just really isn't. But they've been watching our YouTube videos for a couple years, like doing research for a while, knowing they wanted to buy a home, and finally the timing was right. So they knew the value of our expertise. They listened to our advice right away and came in with a good offer. Now, it wasn't the top offer. We missed the mark, but they worked with our lender. They did all their homework. They got underwritten. They moved some of their funds to get a relationship discount with the lender to get an even better interest rate. And the offers ended up being so much crazier than we anticipated. But our presentation and our terms stuck out to the listing agent that once again, we got the opportunity to come and bring up our price and lock in the property. So this buyer came in so strong, did all the prep, followed our step-by-step guidance and the advice, and got the very first home they made an offer on. So yes, that happens as well. So it really depends on how much research and preparation you do up front to how fast and easy this process will be. So this buyer was fully prepared and ready to go, and they were able to lock in their dream home on the very first try. So these stories highlight how preparation and the right strategy and the right agent can make all the difference. So let's wrap up with some final tips to help you succeed. So here's my final tip for winning in the San Jose market. First off, be ready to act quickly. Have all your documents and finances in order before seeing any homes, knowing your price range and budget so that you can negotiate when the opportunity comes. Lean on your team. Trust your agent and your lender to guide you through the process and get up to speed on the market, which means do your research and validate and find the right team for you, and then research the neighborhood and the recent sales so that you can grasp the market quickly. I will help clients dig into the last 45 days of sales to really get an idea of that list price to sales price range so that you can immediately jump into the current market. And tip number 3 is to stay focused. With your goals and your 3 main criteria in mind, don't get discouraged by setbacks. Reevaluate your target property, and if needed, adjust your target to the market or adjust your budget, however you can, in order to find the right sweet spot for you to get into a property. So buying a home in San Jose, yes, it can be challenging, but with the right plan and the right team, it's absolutely possible. If you're ready to navigate this competitive market and secure your dream home, give me a call. My team and I are here ready to guide you step by step all the way through so that you don't have to face this alone. Thank you so much for joining me today.